Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Imagine a kingdom where bloodlines bind tighter than chains, yet where those very ties are unraveling in plain sight. What if I told you that one of the most powerful families on earth is being torn apart, not by enemies outside, but by the shadows within their own walls? Tonight, we step inside the silent war of Britain's royal house, a battle between fathers, sons, and a legacy that may never be the same again. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Here, we peel back the curtain on the stories that others only whisper about, untold truths, hidden rivalries, and the human struggles beneath the crowns. On September 8th, Prince Harry, once a beloved spare who captured the hearts of millions, will return to the United Kingdom. His official purpose? The WellChild Awards, a ceremony celebrating children living with serious illness, a cause Harry has championed for years. But for many watching, the awards are just a backdrop. The real drama lies in whether Harry will cross paths with his father, King Charles III. For the casual observer, it may seem like a simple reunion between father and son. But those who know the House of Windsor understand. Nothing about this is simple. This potential meeting could be the first time Harry and Charles come face to face since February of 2024, a gap of more than a year. That alone speaks volumes. Because in royal time, when appearances and optics rule, every silence stretches like thunder. And yet, while the king may be open to seeing his youngest son, one man stands in staunch opposition. Harry's brother, Prince William, the heir, the future king, the man who, for decades, shared not just blood with Harry, but laughter, grief, and the heavy crown of expectation. So why now, after all they've endured together, does William view a simple meeting as, quote, a terrible, terrible idea? To answer that, we have to go back. For years, William and Harry were the royal brothers who seemed inseparable, united first by privilege, then bonded even deeper by tragedy. The death of their mother, Princess Diana, in 1997 etched scars that never fully healed. In the wake of that loss, the two boys became symbols of resilience, standing side by side as Britain watched them march, heads bowed, behind their mother's coffin. That shared pain once made them closer than ever. But as the years passed, different paths emerged. William, steady, disciplined, shaped by the knowledge that one day the crown would be his. Harry, rebellious, restless, forever carrying the burden of being the spare, never the heir. The gulf widened with time, but the real fracture came in 2020. That year, Harry and his wife Meghan Markle stunned the world by stepping back from royal duties. What began as a bold declaration of independence soon spiraled into accusations, interviews, and books that exposed royal family secrets to the public. For William, it was betrayal. For Harry, it was survival. Fast forward a day, and the ice has only thickened. The once warm dialogue between the brothers has all but frozen. And yet, fate has pulled Harry back onto British soil, setting the stage for a possible royal reckoning. A close friend of William recently spoke to the Daily Beast, revealing the depth of William's unease. The words were clear, sharp, almost chilling. William considers this potential meeting between Harry and their father a terrible idea. Not just unwise, not just premature, but terrible. The friend added that William, ever the soldier, respects his father's right to make his own choices. He will not openly oppose the king. But in private, he's firm. This is not the time. This is not the way. Why? What is it about Harry's return that stirs such resistance in the heir to the throne? Could be fear that Harry might once again twist family matters into public spectacle. Could be anger that after years of silence, the wounds remain too raw to heal. Or could be something darker still. The recognition that reconciliation may never truly be possible. Even King Charles himself has remained silent, neither confirming nor denying that a meeting is on the cards. His hesitation speaks volumes. For beneath the crown lies a father caught between two warring sons. To meet with Harry risks alienating William, the heir. To refuse risks deepening the estrangement with Harry, the son who has already drifted so far. And then there's Harry's own perspective. In May, he revealed in an interview with the BBC that his father won't speak to him. Imagine that, a father and son, once so close, reduced to silence. At the time, Harry was locked in a bitter legal battle against the UK Home Office over his taxpayer-funded security rights. He lost the case. But the scars of that fight, over protection, over status, over belonging, run deeper than any courtroom judgment. So as Harry prepares to set foot on British soil once again, questions swirl like storm clouds over the palace. Will the king open the door to his son? Or will history repeat itself in cold indifference? And if the meeting does happen, will it plant the fragile seed of reconciliation or ignite a new fire of resentment? Consider the symbolism of it all. A monarch who spent decades waiting for his own crown, now faced with a choice not a state, but a family. A father forced to balance duty with blood. Two sons, once the pride of their nation, now estranged, living proof that even the most gilded of families are not immune to fracture. And the world will watch, because this is not just a private family feud. Every gesture, every word, every photograph carries meaning for the monarchy itself. At a time when public trust in the royals hangs in the balance, when scandals and whispers echo louder than tradition, a single meeting, or its absence, could change the narrative for years to come. But here's the haunting question. Is reconciliation even possible anymore? Or has too much been said, too much been lost, for the bond ever be restored? This is where the story stands tonight. A king torn, a son returning, a brother resisting. Yet the true weight of the saga lies not in the headlines, but in what happened behind closed doors. And soon, very soon, the world may learn whether the fractures in Britain's royal family are cracks that can be mended or fault lines that will one day bring the house down. But the story doesn't end here. Because what if William's warnings are not just skepticism, but prophecy? What if this meeting, should it happen, becomes a spark that sets off a chain of events neither side can control? The question that hangs like a sword above the palace walls is not whether Charles and Harry will meet, but what such a meeting could unleash. To understand why William trembles at the thought, we must look not only at the present but at the ghosts of the past. For William, history whispers with a cruel kind of echo. He remembers the turbulence of his parents' marriage, the chaos of the press, and how the family's inability to reconcile with Diana's struggles ultimately ended in heartbreak. Could it be that William sees Harry's return as history threatening to repeat itself? Chaos seeping back into the very institution he has sworn to protect? Because make no mistake, for William, the monarchy is not just a family. It is a mission, a sacred duty passed from one generation to the next. He has been preparing his entire life for crown. And in that mission, stability is everything. One false step, one misjudged alliance, could unravel the trust of a nation already weary of scandals. So when he calls a meeting between Harry and the king a terrible idea, it may not only be brotherly resentment speaking. It may be the voice of a man carrying the unbearable weight of the crown-to-be, terrified that his brother's presence will fracture what little stability remains. But what about Harry, the rebel prince who traded palaces for freedom in California, who walked away from the institution yet cannot escape its shadow? To him, reconciliation may not be about royal duty at all. It may be about something raw or more human, a yearning to be heard, to be recognized, to reclaim the bond of a father's love. And yet, every time he reaches back toward the family, controversy follows. The Oprah interview, the Netflix series, the memoir Spare, each peel away layers of secrecy the royals guard with iron walls. To the family, those revelations were betrayals. To Harry, they were survival. But in a family that thrives on silence, every truth-telling has consequences. So imagine, for a moment, the scene if Charles and Harry do meet. The king, frielier now than when he first took the crown, sits across from his youngest son. Words, cautious and careful, pass between them. But behind those words lies a question neither can speak aloud. Can we ever return to what we were? Meanwhile, William waits in the wings, unyielding. He may never know the words spoken in that room, but he knows enough to fear what they could mean for him, for the monarchy, for the future. And here lies the true drama. This is not just about a father and his sons. It is about the survival of an institution centuries old, because the monarchy, for all its jewels and rituals, is a fragile thing, held together not by power, but by perception. If the world sees a family divided beyond repair, the crown itself could lose its shine. Public opinion has shifted before, and it can shift again. Already, Whispers grow louder. Does Britain still need a monarchy in the 21st century? Do the scandals, the fractures, outweigh the traditions it upholds? The royals know this, and perhaps no one knows it better than William, who must one day embody the crown or watch it slip through his fingers. This is why William sees danger where others might see hope. For him, reconciliation with Harry isn't just a family matter. It's a gamble with the very legacy he has been groomed to defend. But then, what if William is wrong? What if, in shutting the door on Harry, the monarchy seals its own fate? Because estrangement breeds sympathy. And in Harry, many see not just a prince, but man cast adrift, punished for choosing love and independence over duty. To embrace him could heal. To reject him could condemn. There is, however, a haunting possibility that lingers over this entire saga. What if reconciliation is no longer possible? What if too much damage has been done, too many wounds inflicted, too many words spoken that cannot be taken back? Families fracture every day, but when the family wears crowns, the fracture becomes history. Think of Edward VIII, the king who abdicated for love and left the monarchy scarred for decades. Think of Diana, whose battles with the crown still echo in her sons' lives. Again and again, the royal story is not one of unbroken unity, but of splintered ties and unresolved ghosts. Perhaps this is simply the latest chapter in that same old tale. And yet, even as we speculate, the truth remains hidden behind palace doors. The king says nothing. William holds his silence. Harry prepares his journey. And the world waits. But let me leave you with this thought. What if this meeting, this brief, uncertain encounter between a father and son, shapes not just their lives, but the monarchy's future? A single conversation has the power to alter the course of dynasties. Will it heal? Will it wound further? Or will it simply remind us that beneath the crowns and castles, these are men wrestling with the same fragile bonds of family as the rest of us? The palace will not tell us. They never do, but the silence itself speaks louder than any proclamation. And when Harry arrives, when Charles decides, when William resists, the clash of duty, love, and legacy will unfold before the world's eyes, piece by piece, glance by glance, in whispers and in echoes. And you, watching from afar, will witness history in motion. A history where the story of kings and princes is not one of fairy tales, but of fractured hearts. So what do you think? Should King Charles open the door to his estranged son, risking further cracks of the air? Or should he choose silence, preserving order but deepening the rift? Is reconciliation even possible? Or is this simply the beginning of the monarchy's unraveling in an age where secrets cannot stay buried? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. This is more than just a family feud. It is a battle for the soul of Britain's royal house. And we'll be here to uncover every chapter, every shadow, every whisper as it unfolds. Until next time, remember, history is not just what we are told. It is what we dare to question.